Hi Community of Awesome, I'm Ava J and this is Bookish Pixie. So once upon a time when I was a baby writer and I just finished my first manuscript, I showed it to a couple family members and thought, okay, I have critique partners. So I think a mistake a lot of new writers make is thinking that they can give their manuscript to their close friends or really close family members and they will be excellent critique partners, because I don't know why, really. And I think part of the reason a lot of new writers do this is because they're a little afraid to show their work to a stranger because they're afraid of ideas being stolen or something along those lines, and they don't necessarily trust people off the bat, and so they show it to close people who they can trust and assume that they're going to be all the critique partners they need, but they're not. I think part of the reason new writers are so afraid of people stealing their ideas is because they put way too much importance on the actual idea. Here's the thing, ideas, they're not really the end-all and be-all for books. Ideas are a dime a dozen. A lot of writers are overflowing with ideas. They have so many ideas they don't even know what to do with. I am not one of those writers, but even so, ideas are not the super important what makes or breaks a book. I mean, that's certainly part of it. A book without a good idea is going to be kind of boring. But the most important part is the writing. I mean, think about it. How many books out there are about boarding schools or vampires or werewolves or about a girl who meets a boy and they fall in love? Those are all ideas, but the reason that people can write about them over and over and over again is because what they bring to the idea is unique to them. So this whole being worried about people stealing your ideas thing, don't worry about it. Even if someone looked at your idea and thought, I want to write something like that, they're not going to take your idea verbatim, A, because that's boring, and B, even if they did, what they wrote would be totally different from you. But mostly writers want to write their own ideas, so they don't usually want to take from other people anyway. So now that that's out of the way, let's get to the main point of this vlog, which is you need critique partners, and not your friends and family members. Critique partners are massively important for two reasons. The first and most obvious is you need someone to look at your work. It is extremely difficult, if not impossible, to be completely objective about our own work. And in order for us to really turn our manuscripts from a first draft into a more publishable, much better version than what we originally wrote, we need critique. So first and foremost, critique partners are there to take a look at your work, tell you what you did that works, tell you what you did that didn't work, give you ideas for how you can expand, and all in all help you make your work better. The secondary reason, however, which is just as important, is that when you look at their work and start to critique their work, you actually become a better writer. That may sound a little surprising to someone who hasn't critiqued before, but you learn so much from looking at other people's work and pointing out what works and what doesn't work. Because the thing is, especially with stuff that doesn't work, it's a lot easier to pick it out in someone else's work. And once you start identifying a certain problem in other people's work, you can turn around and then identify those problems in your own work. So yeah, it's great that critique partners look at your own work, as totally fantastic, but you also really need to remember that the other important part of it is that you learned just as much, if not more so, from critiquing their work. Critique partners aren't optional for writers, and I found that one of the fastest ways to learn as a writer is to work with critique partners. Both getting your work critiqued and critiquing others' works improves your skills as a writer. So if you're a new writer and you don't have a critique partner or several critique partners, I highly super recommend you get some. It's the quickest way to learn as a writer, and not only that, it'll help you make your manuscript and your future manuscripts much, much better. For those of you who don't have critique partners or are looking for more, I'm going to link below to a few blog posts about where and how to find good critique partners. So that's all I've got for today. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe and comment, and I'll see you guys next week.